Hello, my name is Allie Garrett, and for this assignment, I chose to watch the film West Side Story, which is like a musical slash movie that was made in 1961. This movie is all about intercultural relationships. It's about members from clans, two clans specifically, the Sharks, which are all Puerto Rican immigrants who migrated to New York City from Puerto Rico, and members from the Jets, which are all New Yorkers, so Americans. The main characters from the Sharks, so all Puerto Ricans, would be Maria, Bernardo, who is Maria's older brother, Anita, who is Bernardo's lover, and then Chino, who is Bernardo's best friend. And then members of the Jets, the Americans, would be Tony, Riff, who is the leader of the Jets, Baby John, who is just a member of the Jets that is in the movie a lot, talks a lot, and then Doc, who owns a candy soda shop that Tony works at. So this film, the plot is that Maria and Tony meet by coincidence at a community dance in neutral territory where each clan was allowed to be with no funny business going on. But they meet and they have an interaction which starts a feud between the Sharks and the Jets, because those types of intercultural relationships were frowned upon back then. This feud leads to each member from each clan to want to start a rumble, which is supposed to be a fist fight, but it ultimately leads into a deadly fight. So they plan the rumble, they plan a location to go to, they all go there, all is going good with the fist fight until Riff and Bernardo each pull out a knife, so it becomes a knife fight. And Bernardo ends up stabbing Riff, and Riff ends up dying. And Tony is at this rumble, and Tony gets mad because Riff is his best friend, and Tony ends up stabbing Bernardo, and Bernardo dies. And keep in mind, Bernardo is Maria's older brother, and Maria is Tony's lover. So once Maria finds out about this, she doesn't want to believe it because Tony, no, he's great, he would never do that, he promised me he would end the rumble, this and that. So once more members of the Sharks that at the rumble, found out that it was Tony, Chino actually went back to where they were staying, grabbed a gun, and literally hunted Tony down. And so Tony finds out about this, and Anita ends up telling Tony, because he's looking for Maria, ends up telling Tony that they killed Maria, she's dead, this and that. And so Tony runs around looking for Chino. He's like, Chino, kill, he doesn't want to be alive without Maria, right? And so Maria actually ends up seeing Tony. They see each other, and Tony's like, I thought you were dead, all this and that. And Chino sees them running towards each other and shoots Tony. So this is all at the end of the movie, where Tony is dying in Maria's arms, and they all come to the senses that what is all this hate for? We are all people, we are all human. At the end of the day, who cares who loves who? No matter the race, no matter the ethnicity, we should all just find love in life, because all this hate is leading to nothing but bad, and at the end they find out that what's stronger than hate is love because of this. And so I think it's just a great movie to watch, because there's so many intercultural relationships within this movie. And then some terms from chapter 8 that were really correlated into this movie was language and culture and conversation, the words made available to us through language. I found that when Tony first met Maria, he was, really trying to connect with her through speaking Spanish. Granted, he didn't know that many Spanish words, but simple ones like hello or goodbye or my name is. So he would try to correlate those into conversation with Maria, and she really felt connected to him through that. Another one would be emotional expression in conversation, which is what people rely on when they do not want to say what they're feeling. And given that this movie is more of a musical, the way that they express their feelings without saying anything would be to dance. So if they're happy and they didn't say anything, they would do a jump twirl. Or if they were devastated, at the end of the movie, Maria, she dropped to her knees and just started crying. expressing their emotions through dancing. And the other one is display rules, which is prescriptions for what kinds of amounts of emotional expression are appropriate. This is really good because Tony and Maria weren't allowed to show any attention towards each other except for like maybe a smile or like a wink in the movie. So, you know, just like appropriate amounts of expression for like certain places in the movie. And then the last one would be framing rules, which is the standards taught to us by society or culture that helps us define what certain situations are supposed to mean to us emotionally. And this really goes with literally the whole movie and the intercultural relationship that is this movie, because society taught the Americans that the Puerto Ricans were foreigners and that they weren't supposed to be there and that they were dangerous. So that's what every member from the Jet only knew. They only knew that they were dangerous and they were trying to take over their land. And so that's basically what the whole movie is. So yeah, it's a very good film to watch.